Hey, happy day, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Day 514 of What's She Up To Now, as I'm transitioning from the brick and mortar world of corporate America and real businesses to the online world of business. I am sharing my journey every day. I'm just documenting what I'm working on, how's it going. And today I titled this one Down in the Dumps, because all of us, whenever we're doing anything, especially building a business, sometimes it's lonely, sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's depressing, sometimes it's disappointing, and we feel down in the dumps. Now, down in the dumps, to me, there's a difference between feeling a little bit down in the dumps, to me, is very different than depression. But some people actually will roll with feeling bad or sad or lonely or disappointed all the way down to depression. And as I learned in my early 20s, I was a big Tony Robbins follower. I had some health challenges and I just was really struggling, and I determined that I could either be depressed and sad and bedridden and feel miserable and stay there, or I was going to have to figure something else out. And I decided I had to figure something else out. So Tony Robbins teaches this technique of changing how we define words, changing how we define feelings for ourselves. And we do this with everything. I've done it with depression. I've done it with frustration. I've done it with happiness. I've done it with success. I've done it with feeling good. I've done it with well-being. We get to define what each of those things mean, but more than what they mean, what they feel like to us. And when we do that, everything changes. By taking depression and setting up the rules for what it meant for me to feel depressed and what I had to do to feel depressed, to make it almost impossible to feel depressed, I don't think since I've done that exercise, I've ever truly felt what I would call depressed in my life. And I've had some really, really bad things happen. I've had some really stressful, terrible things happen since then, but I've never let myself fall to the depths of feeling that I would define as depression. I just don't let myself do that. I also did things like redefining terms like success. What does it mean in order for me to feel successful? What has to happen in order for me to feel good and successful? Well, I used to have all these rules set up for myself. Tony Robbins tells a story of a man, he was making millions of dollars, he had a beautiful wife, he had everything you could ever imagine, but he still didn't feel successful because he wasn't making $10 million a year yet. And so he wasn't happy, he wasn't satisfied, he didn't feel good ever because he wasn't at that $10 million a year mark. And this is, 30, 40 years ago, so that's a really big number back then, right? It's a really big number for a lot of us now. And he tells the story of how he taught that man to rechange his rules for feeling success. And that comes, to me, that speaks to appreciating what we have now. Not thinking that that's all we're ever going to have, but appreciating what we already have. Being grateful for what already is and what we've already created. It gives us permission to celebrate our successes and our journey along the way, knowing that success really is all about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's not about where we end up. It's about who we become along the way. So down in the dumps, depression, those were things that I, took out of my, I still get down in the dumps sometimes. Who am I kidding? But depression is something gone. I don't know. And I'm really close to people that have severe depression. Some of it is, externally created through injury and illness. But like I said, I had to change that for myself so that I wouldn't ever let myself feel that. I am one of those people that has had chronic pain and chronic illness and challenges throughout my life. And so I learned early on that depression wasn't going to be my go-to feeling, because if it was, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Actually, I guarantee I wouldn't be here talking to you now, because a while back I had a sudden cardiac arrest, and had I not done some of the preliminary work in my 20s and 30s and 40s, I don't think I'd still be here. I know I wouldn't be, and that's really kind of eye-opening to say and understand and admit, but it's absolutely true. So when we're feeling down in the dumps, we have to have things that we can automatically do that will take us out of that experience, out of that feeling. I actually keep on my refrigerator at home a list. It's just a little piece of one of those to-do list papers with a bunch of, I think there's 20, 25 things on it, and I add things as I think of them. I don't think I've ever crossed anything out, but there's some things I just don't do because they're not my go-to thing anymore. But I have a list of things that I can automatically do if I start to feel sad or upset about something or frustrated, I go to that list, I look at it, I pick something on the list, and I do that. And I think there's things like, take a hot bubble bath, go for a walk, go outside and take 5 deep breaths and just breathe for a minute, listen to a meditation, call a friend. There's all kinds of things like that on that list that are my go-to things when I need a little pick-me-up, when I'm feeling like, oh my God, really, have I got to do this again? Or if I'm on the computer and something, things on the computer change all the time, which to me is like super frustrating. I like to set up a system and then have it work and then just continually improve that system. So when we depend on things that aren't created by us, different things like right now I'm on Facebook Live making this video. Facebook Live changes, Facebook changes, how you do it, the steps you go through to do it. I would say once every couple of weeks, there's a slight change in how you do it. Now I have vision challenges, so I like things to be the same so that I can figure them out and still do them. So I usually make some mistakes and I get mad at myself and then I get over it. So how we deal with things like that, it's 100% entirely up to us. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned and had to own, is that if I'm feeling any way I'm feeling, it's because I'm choosing to feel that way. I know Eleanor Roosevelt said that a long, long time ago, and I'm sure many wise people, even generations ago before her, said that, what we choose to feel and what we choose to think about and focus on and believe is entirely up to us. And once we get that, once we realize that we really have that much personal power and control, and we start to act upon it, everything changes. What we think about, what we look at, and how we look at it changes everything. It changes what we see. It changes what we experience. It changes the whole trajectory and direction of our lives. So that's my little thing about down in the dumps today. I would love if you would share in the comments below, what do you do? Because I'm always looking to add to my personal list. I know that's selfish to ask, but I think it might help not only me, but other people as well. What do you do? What are some things that you do that make you feel better when you're feeling down in the dumps, when you have a disappointment, when you're feeling stressed out? Because stress is an indicator that there's something off, that there's something wrong, right? Or there's something that we're acting as if it's all terrible and wrong. Stress is such an interesting topic to me, because even good things that happen in our life stress us out. Any change stresses us out as human beings, which is really interesting because everything is always changing. So if we don't find a way to embrace change and love change and get excited about it, we're always in this state of stress, right? And who wants to live that way? It's too hard on us. So what are some things that you do? Share in the comments below. I would love to know. And let me just say, what am I working on? I'm at the cabin this weekend, so I'm still doing my 90-day challenge, because once I commit to something, I'm going to do it. Today is day 54, I believe, of the challenge, and I'm working on a segment about offer creation and how to make irresistible offers so that everything you offer, people love. The people that you're offering it for, the ones that it's for, it's irresistible to them, and they're like, oh my God, I gotta have it. And that makes you impervious to the competition. I mean, competition becomes irrelevant when you're serving your ideal people better than anyone else. Then there is no competition, because they come to you, they love you, they know, like, and trust you, and they love what you do for them, and they know that you're going to always, over deliver and under promise. So game over, right? And again, it's not game over for everybody. We don't need everybody. We only want the people that are right for us to be interacting with. That makes life a lot less stressful and a lot less opportunity for being down in the dumps, because when we're helping people that we love to help and giving to them and providing things to them that make their lives better, geez, nothing feels better than that. So that's what I'm working on. Just a 90-day challenge, and then my daily videos today. And that's all I do when I'm at the cabin. The rest is all about recharging my batteries, having fun, getting out in nature, enjoying the beautiful place and the amazing people, so that I can recharge my batteries and I can have energy when I'm back at home to do the things that I do. That's it. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow back home in my little corner of my office. Take care.